This video is an extension of example 4 where we went through several operating transactions. So we had 17 transactions for an entire year, and now we're going to prepare the financial statements for the city based on the information that we have from our journal entries. Okay, and so the first is a general fund balance sheet. So how this is different from I know we've talked about this in lecture, but this is different from a business balance sheet where we have assets and then our liabilities and fund balances. So remember, there's no equity for accounts. So if we were to go through based on our beginning information, so if we were to journal these transactions and use our beginning information, which I'm not going to do the journal entries in the T accounts because that takes a really long time. We're just going to set these up. So we have cash. So we have 468, 6,040 in cash. And then we have taxes delinquent, 255,938. And allowance for uncollectible accounts of 73,668. Really, I just want to go over this so everyone has formatting. So when you're working on the homework and Smithville, that you can see how these things are put together. So then we have our total assets, which is the sum of all of these assets. Okay, we then have our liabilities. So any outstanding vouchers that we haven't paid at the end of the year. Our deferred inflows. Okay, and then our fund balance. So we have the non-spendable inventory of supplies, and then our unassigned fund balance. Get our total fund balances. And then our total liabilities, and of course we should match. We want to do formatting, okay. So the other financial statement is the statement for revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. This is kind of similar to what an income statement would be for an entity. Okay, so what are our revenues? And we have 3 different revenue sources: taxes, and interest and penalties, and then other sources. And these would be our different program accounts and different like fiduciary funds and things like that. We'll be looking at those things individually in different chapters. Okay, so we have our total revenues, and then we have our total expenditures, where we had salaries and wages. We paid interest on a note payable, and then we had supplies, purchases, and other expenses. And our excess of revenues over expenditures, we had a $3,000 increase in supplies. So if you remember that last entry that we did, where we had $3,000 increase in supplies from the previous year. Then have our fund balances from July 1st, which was the beginning of our fiscal year. And then we add up to get our new fund balance at the end of the year. So the excess in revenues and the $3,000 increase in supplies plus the beginning fund balance then gets us our ending fund balance. Okay, and those are those financial statements. So I have one more example for chapter 4, which is looking at a special fund that has been set up. This special fund has an endowment. So looking at one of those endowment and special fund examples.